Hey everyone, tonight I'm reviewing Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. I have been waiting a long time to uh, first initially find this bottle, and then when it started to become available and I started to see it, I thought it was kind of pricey. I finally found it at a reasonable price, the most reasonable price that I've seen in my area, and I said, you know what, it's time to grab it. I've heard mixed reviews on this. Just a little background, this is from the Heaven Hill Distillery. It's got the same Heaven Hill mash bill as in the others. It's 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. Elijah Craig was one of the earliest bourbons that I got into when I crossed over from Jack Daniels, and that was the regular small batch. Now Elijah Craig initially, some time ago, had an actual 12-year age statement. They got rid of that, and the small batch just ended up being in the thought of 9 years plus, but there was nothing on it officially. But they thought it was, aged around 9 years or over. Possibly, some could have some older barrels. And in 2020, Elijah Craig came out with, well, it was a couple of products. They came out with this product. They also did some barrel proof, which I've had, also very, very good. But again, I loved the small batch when it first came out. Since then, I've had it a lot less, and I don't know if I like it as much, but this product came out in 2020, and it became now a regular release. But originally, it was allocated, hard to find. Now, not so much. But again, I thought this was finally found it at a good price, and I said it's time to try it out. And this is and just to understand this before I pour this up, what they do is they age this fully matured in a barrel, and again, that was, let's call it 9 years plus, and then it is then dumped out and put in a second charred oak barrel that is toasted. It's toasted to a specific level, and it is then aged further in that second toasted barrel. I don't know the exact amount of time. I would say several months, but I didn't get the exact amount of time. And this is one of these that I've had a couple of experiences with. Another one, and that would be the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Honestly, I'll probably get a lot of hate on this one. I wasn't that thrilled about that one, and I just recently got the Heaven's Door double barrel whiskey, and I actually like that one. So this would be, I guess we'll call it the third in line of trying that. So I've had kind of two different experiences. So we're going to pour this up and see what we think. Okay, we have it poured up. By the way, before I take a sip, just want to remark that this is a very, very nice bottle. I've always thought it's very, very classy looking. It's one of the nicer bottles, and I always like the cork. I always think that's one of the nicer looking corks too. But what matters is what's inside, not what the bottle looks like. I have it poured up. Let's give this a nose. Okay. That wasn't exactly what I was expecting. It's a little different. Well, let me reserve some judgment because I'm supposed to be tasting. I know some of the tasting notes say sweetness, and I think we'll give this one a taste. Cheers. Okay. It's a little disappointing. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, just to back up a drop, I said the initial Elijah Craig small batch I used to like a lot more. So I know in my head, Elijah Craig probably liked it more. Now, there's a certain Heaven Hill profile I find in the Evan Williams. I find in the Elijah Craig, even in the Heaven Hill bottled and bond I had. This doesn't have that. This, I will say, for one thing, I think the toasting changes the taste of the base small batch. And we'll say that, and that makes sense. But I think it changes it a lot. I'm gonna take another sip here. I don't know. There's a certain. I'm gonna have to get into this a little more. There's a certain taste that I'm not quite sure I like, and I think that might be from the toasting. I know the tasting notes that I'm supposed to be tasting. Not supposed to be. I guess everybody tastes something different, but the official, I usually also always read the Breaking Bourbons. I don't know if anybody reads those, but those are very good. When I'm in a liquor store, if I'm interested in picking something out, I'll read Breaking Bourbon. It gives you some of the tasting notes. If you scroll to the bottom, you can get the number, the way a movie is, number of stars. They give number of barrels. They rated this 3 barrels. What they did say was that the finish is a little disappointing, and I agree with that. But what I'm picking up is it's supposed to be, a bunch of caramel, vanilla, baking spice, marshmallow, graham cracker, those types of scents. And I could see some of that, but there's just a certain taste, and maybe from the toasting that I'm getting at. I guess I should have listened to Bourbon Barry. Bourbon Barry, I did watch your review, and I still decided to get this. Not saying I'm not going to like this. I think I need to get into this a little bit more. There's a certain taste that I just have to get past that I'm not used to. When I had the Heaven's Door double barrel, I did not. It's a totally different whiskey, but I didn't get that. I don't know if that one is toasted barrel. That may just be put in a second barrel. This is a toasted. There's something with the toasting. Again, I will repeat that when I had the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. There's something I didn't like about it, but I'm gonna give this one more sip. I'm picking up a little bit of that Heaven Hill taste, but there's something with the toasting, and I don't even want to say I don't like it. I don't want to say I do. I just at this point, I think I might need to get into this a little more. But there's definitely a taste profile in this, and I believe it's from the toasting, and I think it definitely changes what's the base whiskey in here into something a little different, and we'll get into it. Maybe I'll have some further tasting notes in a later date, and we'll see what we think. So in the meantime, we'll call it a TBD on this one. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.